Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate clicking on that video as always. And we are back with another video. And in this video, I am going to be going over the 10 very best fragrances that I was able to find in rack stores in 2022. Close to impossible to actually put together. So impossible that I am including 3 honorable mention fragrances. And those 3 fragrances could have just as easily made it into this list. The 10 that I chose as my favorites are the ones I find that I'm wearing the most, I get the best value out of. Maybe I got a fantastic deal on it and I just needed to include it in the list. So really quickly, guys, we are approaching 3,000 subscribers and I want to hit 3,000 before the end of 2022. I think we're about 50 away as I'm filming this. So I would appreciate if you like what you see today, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. So let's jump right into it. I am going to start with the honorable mentions. The first one being Azzaro Pour Homme Low. And this is just a fantastic scent, really masculine, sort of classy, old school fougere with a lighter sort of aquatic twist to it, really bright citrus up top, and very comparable to Azzaro Pour Homme, the original. However, the low version of this, just again, more summery, lighter on your skin, and just a fantastic, addictive, citrusy, masculine scent. I love this one. The second honorable mention is Davidoff's Cool Water Parfum. And this one I was really surprised by. It just smells so good. It's sweet. It's aquatic, it's aromatic, it's fresh, super fresh, gets compared to Dior Sauvage. I can see the comparisons, but this is a fantastic value for what you get. Great performance, lasts all day. Absolutely love this one. And as you can tell, I put a nice little dent in it. It's gotten a ton of use in 2022. And then lastly, the third fragrance that didn't quite make the top 10 list, but I enjoy this one quite a bit. Got a fantastic deal on it as well, is L'Ombre de Merveille from Hermes. Now this one has a really nice quality to it, and this one is different than a lot of other fragrances. It has this sort of aquatic, clean blue fragrance to it, but it has a tea note and there's incense. So very unique, very different, and the quality on this is fantastic. I think I paid $38 on red sticker for this, and I want to say from TJ Maxx. And really quite like this one. It has a calming effect to it. I like to wear this one to bed from time to time. So those are the 3 honorable mentions that, again, didn't quite make the top 10. But without further ado, let's jump into it. These are in no particular order. I'm just going to cover the 10 that I chose to be my favorites of 2022, my favorite rack store finds. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk about is Jo Malone's Vetiver in Golden Vanilla. I found this fragrance for $72 at a cosmetics company store. And if you guys aren't familiar with Cosmetics Company, they are a store that sometimes will have fragrances like Jo Malone, fragrances like Tom Ford, even Killian, I've heard pop up there from time to time. The majority of their products seem to be like makeup and cosmetics, but they do carry fragrances, and I got lucky and found this one for $72, and this scent is just incredible. Typically, Jo Malone is hard to find on a discount, and again, I paid $72 for this, well worth it. This one is aromatic, it's earthy, it's one of the best vanillas that I've ever smelled in any fragrance. It's not too sweet. This is absolutely a unisex fragrance. I know Jo Malone sort of pushes these fragrances to be layered with other fragrances from their line. I have not done that with this. I get great longevity from it, lasts a long time, and I get wafts of this all day long. And also a fragrance that I think could be worn even on warmer days, warmer nights. So it's not super heavy, wears light. As I said, it has this aromatic effect to it. Jo Malone's Vetiver in Golden Vanilla. Next is a fragrance that I picked up from Burlington for only $20, and this one gets compared to a much more expensive discontinued fragrance. The scent I'm talking about is Juicy Couture's Dirty English. This one is a woody, aromatic, spicy with a touch of leather, like a suede leather. Has a really nice, addictive sweetness to it. It's subtle, but it's there. It's probably coming from the mandarin orange in here. and it comes across to me as almost like a fizzy Coca-Cola. I love that about this one. Versatile, masculine, and inexpensive. Found it for only $20 at Burlington. Juicy Couture's Dirty English. So this next one was more of a recent pickup from me, and so happy to have it in the collection. Literally have not seen it this cheap. I got it for $62 at a Nordstrom rack. Scent I'm talking about is Spice Bomb Infrared from Viktor & Rolf. This to me is a fantastic winter gem. Red fruits, cinnamon, a little bit of tobacco. Really nice spice. Really sort of, if you're a fan of this particular line, this one stands alone. On its own, holds its own. I would put this up against some of the others in the line. Obviously, Spice Bomb Extreme, which gets a ton of love, gets a lot of hype. It competes with that one from me in terms of best in line. And I don't know what it is about this one. It just, there's nothing sort of overwhelming about it, but it's strong, it's there. Absolute compliment getter. And for the short time I've owned this, I already fell in love with it. Spice Bomb Infrared from Viktor & Rolf. So this next one, I want to shout out my boy Ryan over at Grown Man Style. He does a lot of rack store videos, and he sent this my way because at the time I couldn't find it in the rack store, and I knew that it was a great scent. Scent I am talking about is Lamborghini's Millennials. I would describe Millennials as a masculine, woody, spicy. It has an old school vibe to it, but it's definitely modern feeling, and the reason it feels modern to me is because of the addition of this rhubarb and incense note in here. Performance is not great on this. It's probably just less than average performance. However, I'm not afraid to spray this one heavy. I literally paid $15 for this. This is just a perfect example of what you can get for $15, $20 in that price range at the rack store. If you come across this one, definitely try it. Lamborghini Millennials. So this one is going to be a niche fragrance that I got for an absolute steal. I mean, red sticker steal from TJ Maxx. Scent I am talking about is Parfums de Marly Godolphin. This one is an edgy, sexy, leather-forward fragrance. It also is a little less refined than some of its competitors, gets compared to ombre leather and Tuscan leather. It's a little less refined than something like a ombre leather, but this one's more interesting to me. It just has more depth, it has more going on, and that's what I like about it. I like that it has that little bit of edge to it. Fruits, florals, leather, a touch of green from the cypress in here. My wife absolutely loves this one, and for $153 that I paid, absolute steal, and just a great example of what you can find at the rack stores if you look hard enough, if you look often enough. Glad to have this one in the collection, Parfums de Marly's Godolphin. So this next one, this one competes with something like a Cool Water Parfum. In terms of me deciding what was going to make this list, this was one that I was going kind of back and forth between this and the Cool Water, but I ultimately chose this one because I find I wear it more, it's a little more interesting, and it has a unique twist to it. The scent I am talking about is Dunhill Century Blue. There's a couple reasons why this is such an incredible scent. For one, I paid this was actually discounted at a Burlington. I paid only $13 for it, which is literally like walking out of the store with it, because this thing is way more of high quality, would lead you to believe it's far more high quality than a $13 fragrance. I like this one more than most other blue fragrances. It has a uniqueness to it, a unique touch through the use of iris, and I haven't smelled that in many blue fragrances. This has a calming effect to it. This is another one that I wear to bed quite often, and it just gets a lot of use. Performance is not fantastic. It's probably about average to just under average performance, at least on my skin, but I spray fairly heavy and it lasts me the day, and I just love it. It has a little bit of a sweetness to it. Just an overall great scent. Worth it to have it in your collection, and one of the best valued, probably the best valued blue fragrance available. Dunhill Century Blue. So I was quite surprised by this next fragrance. I paid about $45 at Burlington for this. This has been a talked about fragrance for many years, and I want to say it was a late 90s release, but doesn't get talked about as much as it used to. Just an incredible scent. scent I'm talking about is Carolina Herrera's 212 from Men. Of all the fragrances that I've talked about so far, this one is probably the most worthy of being a signature scent. It just checks all the boxes for me in terms of it being aromatic, spicy, woody, fresh and clean, a little bit green. Really well done scent, really well-rounded, smooth, no rough edges, just high quality. A steal at $45, just a lovely scent, lasts all day on me. Great for the springtime and warm weather, but again, also versatile, can be worn in cooler temperatures as well, and masculine. It does everything right. I have nothing bad to say about Carolina Herrera's 212 from Men. So this next fragrance I got for $60 at a Nordstrom rack during one of my hauls, and this one, man, this got a ton of wear over the summertime. And if you guys have been a fan of the channel or have been subscribed to the channel for, a good amount of time, you know how much I talked about this one over the summer. Scent I'm talking about is YSL's Y Eau Fraiche. Without question, my favorite from the line. I want to say this one's discontinued now, however, you can still get it. And it is just different from everything else in the line. It has that DNA of the others, mainly the eau de parfum, but this is just so unique. It's super fresh. It literally, the bottle sort of emulates what this fragrance does for me. It's really uplifting. It's a bit cooling. It has this ginger note in here that just puts you in a better mood, and it makes you feel super fresh, super clean for the summer, really hot days. Just mood enhancing fragrance that just works. Has a wonderful dry down. It changes a lot from opening to dry down. The dry down is this closer to like a shower gel blue fragrance, but it's just so well done. I really enjoy it. YSL Y Eau Fraiche. So this next one is another more recent pickup, but one of my favorite already in my collection for the winter time. I love this one. Scent I'm talking about is Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo. Now, its flanker Uomo signature gets all the love in the community. This one does get talked about, and people do love this one. I talked about this one in another video, in the haul video that I found this in, and you guys really like this one. And it's incredible. It's one of the best gourmands for the money that you can buy. A sweet coffee tiramisu dessert, creamy, wonderful, lasts all day, sweet. This is a playful scent and could be worn out, bars, clubs, that type of thing, if that's your thing. But also it's more refined and a little bit upscale for a guy who is in his maybe mid 30s to early 40s. So it can absolutely work for someone in that age range. It is just a little bit more put together, a little bit more rounded, and just upscale for a gourmand. Love this one, Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo. Finally, last but certainly not least on this list is one that I found at TJ Maxx for $180, and I am in love with this scent. One of the best from the house that I've tried. Scent I'm talking about is African Leather from Memo Paris. This one is just classy and sexy through and through. $180 is a really good deal for what I paid for this. It sells for far more in most places online, but you can find it for around that price. This one is warm, a little animalic. Everything is subtle about this scent, with the exception of the spice when you first spray it. Very spicy, so you're anticipating this leather dominant scent, and there is certainly leather in here, but it's a much more subtle, maybe it's the bottle that's making me think like brown leather, but it's a much more subtle, almost suede-y leather that just sort of lingers there in the background for the life of the fragrance. This thing's just fantastic. Absolutely unisex, cold weather ready, stunning scent. So happy to have this in the collection, and one of my best finds at the rack stores in 2022. African Leather from Memo Paris. That's all I have today, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what some of your best rack store finds were in 2022. I would love to know what you guys found this year. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you're updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.